There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Isn't she beautiful, y'all? Look at this beautiful queen up here. Yes, my love.
Hi.
Yes, my love.
Let's go ahead and tap the screen a little bit to get some people in here. Yeah, so I just want to make sure that the connection was great. Hey, everybody, this is Coach Erica, Coach Chyna, whichever one you want to call me. And I am excited to be here with Miss J to talk about a couple of different things today, mainly healing, but I'm going to let Miss J lead her interview and then we're going to get into some good stuff.
Thank you, my love. Thank y'all for being patient too. As I stated, thank y'all for being in here. Thank y'all for this is Miss J's Unfiltered Talk Show and Podcast. And you see my beautiful guest, Miss Chyna T, Coach Erica. We're gonna talk about, as I stated before, we talked about the first interview, which I'm gonna link that after this is over with on my YouTube. There we go. Now we talked about that on the first interview. Yes, never date just one sis, and play your position, sis. Play your position. Do you hear me? When I tell y'all that interview was fire, it was. So the same we're gonna be. What we're gonna talk about tonight is healing. We got to start healing from our trauma. Y'all share this out. Y'all share this out. There it is, right there. It's 31 days of an internal satisfaction. This is her new book. Her new book. It's a 31-day guide, okay, to healing. And that's what we're gonna talk about. So y'all welcome in this beautiful queen. And like I said, now if she step on your toe, just moving back a little bit. That's all. Just moving back a little bit.
Absolutely.
Miss Chyna T, Coach Erica.
Absolutely.
Yes, my love.
Okay, so Miss J, so welcome again to everybody. I am glad to be here. I have been a certified coach since 2019, but I have been working with clients, actually changing their lives in another coaching aspects. It's called case manager. Since I came out of college when I was like 22 years old. So I have a lot of experience on working with things. I've come across a lot of different types of clients on different type of avenues. So not only am I a certified life coach, I'm a certified dating coach, I'm a certified business coach, I'm a certified career coach. It's so many different coaching hats that I wear. And so right now I'm stepping into my dating coach hat because I need to make sure y'all understand the importance of healing. And I want y'all to understand exactly what healing is, because a lot of y'all are getting stuck in what you think healing is, and then you're continuing to stay there for long periods of time and you're not resolving the issues. So I wanted to actually tell you what healing really is, what it encompasses, and how you can get the fullness from it so that your life is better. First and foremost, let's talk about the reason for healing. In our lives, we have a lot of different traumas that we go through. Dealing with family, friends, lovers, whatever. They're called interrelationship traumas, okay? Because what you have with someone else is called a relationship. In that relationship, you will sustain different traumas, different upsets, different reasons for you to be mad, whatever the case is. Those are called micro traumas. Those things eventually compound one on top of each other. So say, for instance, give an example, you and your sister had a falling out because y'all had a big argument, y'all was fighting, y'all had a falling out. That's a trauma, okay, to y'all relationship. Y'all come back together. Nobody apologizes, but because y'all are sisters, y'all just come back together and keep moving along, okay? The next issue comes up. Y'all have another fight. That's another trauma, okay? Nobody's apologizing. You just compound an issue on top of issue, top of issue, and there is an interrelationship trauma that you keep taking with you in the relationship with that person, sister, family, friend, lover, it doesn't matter. Anytime you go through upsets and the resolution is not a conversation, it's not an apology, and the other person doesn't realize that they hurt you, you're going to sustain trauma because that person can't apologize if they don't know what they did. It's as simple as that. Now, with the interrelationship traumas, you will take this into other relationships with other people. So what you had in your childhood with your mother, you will take into relationships with your friends because you will choose friends that remind you of the trauma that you was raised in. Do you hear me? I'm going to say it again. You will choose lovers that will remind you of the trauma that you was raised in. What that means is you're unable to discern who should be in your life because it's all compounded with trauma. And this is where you have to sit down and say, wait a minute. This person was like this. This person was like this. This person did this. And all of this reminded me of what I went through when I was a child with my mom. You have to identify the initial problem because you'll never be able to resolve anything after that until you get back into the first issue. I want to give y'all a personal example, and then I'm going to let Miss J go ahead and ask some questions. I'm not taking over her podcast, but I want to give y'all like some examples. Me, myself, because I'm a coach.
You know how me and you do, my queen. We talk. Hey, you know how we go. We know how we do. Let's go.
Okay. For me, so yes, I'm a coach, but and yes, I know how to heal, but there's going to be some times where I fall back into the old version of me and I make decisions based on who I used to be. Okay. That is a part of me I am still completing and healing in my own healing. So with that being said, give you an example. I just realized last night that I have been chasing marriage again because I am still upset that I'm no longer married. You may not understand until I go into detail, but what I'm saying is this: because I loved being a wife, any person I encounter after that, and it's only been a few, I always try to rush them to get to the place of marriage because I'm trying to get back there. But it's selfish because it's a trauma response. Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm responding to the fact that I did not want to be I did not want to be divorced. I no longer wanted to be single. I still wanted to be married. And because my marriage is no longer here, me responding to trauma is actually allowing me to go to other people and put my trauma on them, essentially bleeding on them. Because now I'm holding them to standards that I really shouldn't be holding them to because we just not there yet, right? I can meet a person today. I might tell them tomorrow I want to be married. We might be moving, and if it don't go the way I want to, I'm going to cut it off. Do you see how that's a trauma response? Because I'm trying to get back what I lost. The loss is there, and I understand the loss is there, but I have not filled that void. So I'm trying to fill it, and I'm doing it the wrong way. That is trauma that I had to recognize, realize, sit down and say, wait a minute. I'm the cause of that. So let me apologize to myself. For the first time, I apologized to self last night. Okay? And you have to get real with yourself because in order for you to apologize to yourself in your trauma, that means you would have had to have recognized the problem. That's called a self-evaluation. A lot of y'all won't do it. That is inside of Never Date Just One. If you get your copy and complete your self-evaluation, you're going to be able to identify the places that you need to heal because you have to be honest with yourself. You can't start healing until you're honest with yourself. You see what I'm saying? So with me being honest with Miss J, look at Miss J. What you need to say?
I gotta say something. That what the book you held up and that assessment you got, but if you got to be honest to yourself, y'all. Let me tell y'all what I did. I did exactly what she's talking about. Then I realized I've been lying to my I've been lying to myself for a long time. You're right. You got to get real for you. You got to deal with yourself.
You have to.
Go ahead on, my baby. I'm sorry.
If you fail to evaluate yourself, because see, somebody else might point out your weak points, your strong points, but guess what? That's not you. And so you may disagree with what they point about. Matter of fact, you may think they hate it. Matter of fact, you may think all the negative things because you don't want to hear it. So sit down and point your own stuff out because you know what's wrong with you, right? That's what the self-evaluation does. So in my self-evaluation, I was able to evaluate how I was approaching different situations. I also did the relationship evaluation. Same thing that's in Never Date Just One as well. I started comparing these transactions with these people I was meeting to what I had with my husband. You see what I'm going? I'm taking something from the past and trying to bring it into the future, and it's the wrong comparison because these are different people. They're not even the same, so I'm not going to get the same results, and that was breaking me. But I recognized that when I did a self-evaluation, so I had to apologize to myself for going so hard for something that I really just honestly need to take my time because You can't just up and be anybody's wife. You know what I'm saying? That's a really, sacred thing. But I was only trying to get back what the loss that I did not want to sustain. Like when y'all lose a parent or you lose somebody that's close to you, you try to find any way to try to bring them back, but you really can't. The loss is the loss. You have to just heal the loss. So here we are today. 31 days to internal satisfaction. Yep. I will go on my own healing journey, starting July 1st to July 31st. We have 31 days to heal whatever it is that's bothering us. And that means I'm taking y'all back to y'all childhood. Whatever it is that's bothering us. And that means I'm taking y'all back to y'all childhood. Start it there, then I can heal you from there. But if I can never get the underlying issue, then what you're going to do is we might heal those micro traumas, those little bitty things for now. But I guarantee you're going to go backwards because the initial thing we have not identified, and I can't identify, only you can. The initial trauma may be something as small as your mother. It could be what not small, because nothing in childhood is small, but it could be something like your parents was on drugs and they didn't do right. It could be something like you was molested or you was sexually assaulted when you was a child. Somewhere in there was a big issue, and throughout life you just covered it up and ignored it, right? That's all you did. Okay, you went from relationship to relationship and you never addressed that. You just left it down there and you said, bump it. It happened when I was 8 years old. I'm 23 right now. It's not a problem. So there you go. And you keep living. But what happened at 8 is still there. It never went away. You just blocked it. Now, let me tell you how it comes back up. When somebody new come hurt you and remind you of that pain, that's when it come back up. That's when you start remembering what happened to you.
Yep.
And listen.
Yep.
Listen.
I got to say this, Chyna. Let me say this before I forget it. Mm-hmm. Because this recently happened to me. I'm gonna be very transparent, but that's how I am. A couple of months ago, I could not understand. I was walking around here just crying. About 5-6 months ago, I would just cry if I saw the color yellow. If I saw yellow, I don't know why I would have that feeling that I want to cry. Mm-hmm. But see, I found out that trauma at 9 years old that I dealt with in the bedroom. Okay? All right? Mm-hmm. Whenever I was seeing yellow, it was triggering me because I had a yellow dress on. I hope y'all catching this. Catching this. People don't want to go back to that.
Right.
Because when I sought help, oh yes I did. Yes I did. I was sort of reluctant, from going up in there, but see, I knew I had to get through that. I had to go back and sit in that trauma. I had to do that. I had to go back and sit in that trauma. I had to do that.
Yep.
And that is so glad I did.
And that is while we're essential, and I'm glad you brought that up because you heard her say she was crying. The color yellow would trigger her. She didn't understand why until she sat down and tried to uncover it. She realized that what she was, it was a reminder of a yellow dress because that trauma never went away. It just got covered up. It has to be dealt with. So what she did was the very first thing in 31 days to internal satisfaction, the very first activity, you can't see it, but the very first thing here is you have to sit down and go back. You have to figure out what happened, what changed. You have to go back every year of your life and figure out where did it significantly change for you. And once you identify that, then we go from there. That is the very first thing you do on this healing journey because, again, you will heal micro traumas that have come in your life since then. But you will still be compounded about what happened long time ago. But trauma can be something as simple as your mom died when you was younger. That's trauma because throughout your life, you need your mother's love. You need your mother's guidance. You want to hear your mother's voice, their advice, right? If she dies when you're young, yes, you may have somebody that steps in and takes care of you. There's nothing like a mother's love. You're always going to want that. And because of that, it is going to cause a mother issue, which you can't help it, but what it's going to do is you're going to start bleeding on other people who have mothers, because internally you are jealous and you don't even realize it. You don't even realize that because they got a relationship with their parents, whether it's good or bad, what you're going to do is try to move them out of that relationship because you never had that. So you're going to try to, that's what a lot of guys do. They try to isolate you from they try to isolate you from your family. That's what abuse is, because they don't have what you have. They are jealous. And in their pain, they don't like to see you do it. So what do? They try to isolate you from it. I know somebody right now with a guy who don't have a relationship that this girl has with her family. He is trying to do everything he can to make it all about him, and try to isolate her from her family so that it could just be him and her, because he doesn't like that she can call her family whenever she wants to and talk and have that conversation. He can't have that conversation with his family. So y'all are inviting in people into y'all lives based on the trauma that y'all keep uncovering. And now it's time for you to talk about those traumas, and let's uncover it. That is what we're going to do for 31 days, from July 1st to July 31st. Okay. With 31 days to internal satisfaction. Make sure you get your copy. There's going to be a video on YouTube every day, going from day to day, talking about what we're doing in here. And in this healing journey, we're going to go through everything. It starts from the first initial trauma, and it goes on up to relationship trauma, to all type of different things that you sustain, all the way into that last day is self-love. On the last day of your journey, you're going to have to be honest with yourself and say, did your self-love increase throughout this journey? Because you should have learned a lot of different things about you that you didn't even realize you knew in your healing journey. That is the purpose of doing it for 1 month. Healing is new standards and new boundaries. You know what happened to you. So I know that I got my heart broke by this guy because I moved too fast. So now I got a standard. I don't move too fast. See how that healed that immediately? Because now you know that hurt won't come back. Okay. Standards and boundaries, something a lot of us lack, which is why people keep being able to bleed on us. We don't have boundaries. Okay. We have to set them. We don't have standards. We have to maintain them, and we do not deviate away from them just because we want to be loved. Because that's what happens when you're desperate for love. You start relaxing your boundaries and relaxing your standards. So where you were strong up here and determined, because you are getting desperate, it weakens over time, and you go back to that same place. And guess what? More trauma.
More trauma. All because we're choosing not to deal with it. You just adding on more trouble, more trauma, more trauma, more trauma, more trauma. But like I said, I had to sit in there, and I'm so glad I did that, because you're right, Chyna. After every 5.5 months of dealing with my therapist, I'm not gonna lie, yes I did. I ain't changed. Yeah. But after that self-love, you can't nobody take that from me ever again. Ever again. I don't care if people say or whatever, but I don't care, because now Miss J, I'll be 63 next month, July the 6th. I love the hell out of me, and then nobody will ever take that from me again. Period. Now,
and that's what healing is. Your self-love will go up. You will just be so in love with yourself when you finally heal. Like, nobody gonna be able to tell you nothing. You're gonna like to be alone. This is how you know you need to heal. Go be alone 2 weeks. Listen, go be alone for 2 weeks. Okay, wait a minute, hold on. I'm telling everybody, go be alone for 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, don't have nobody around you. Just go to work and come home. Be alone. And tell me, if those 2 weeks when you don't go around nobody and talk to nobody, do you feel lonely? If you tell me you feel lonely, we got some healing to do. Because you shouldn't feel alone. At no time when you by yourself should you be noticing that you by yourself, because when you heal, you won't notice that you're going to be loved. You're going to love your peace. So if you've been alone for 2 weeks and not have nobody around you bothers you, then you need to do some healing, because something is going on there. You don't even realize it yet.
Oh my God. Did y'all hear that? Oh my God. Thank you, Tayana, for being in here. Oh my God. I don't
If
know
you
why a
can't be
light bulb
around
just went out.
yourself, listen, if you cannot be around yourself for just you don't talk to nobody, go around, no, it's just you for 2 whole weeks, you gotta call somebody, a friend. If you can't be with yourself, then we have to heal. There is something wrong, and you are keep hiding it because you don't want to sit by yourself. See, when you're by yourself, it makes you think. You don't like thinking. You
Yes,
don't like going there.
yes.
So that's why you don't be by yourself. Go be by yourself for 2 weeks. You sit by yourself and tell me everything that you think about or what come up. And if you don't call anybody, if you can do that, then you are on your way. But if you have to at any time in them 2 weeks, you got to reach out to somebody, then that means you need some healing. You got some healing to do. You have been ignoring the fact that there is something that is there that you will refuse to uncover, and therefore you can't heal it. As simple as that.
Wow. I hope
Yep.
y'all listen. Thank you for the heart. Thank you for the heart. Arcella, thank you for being in here. And Tayana, thank y'all for being in here. I really appreciate that. Now, I got a couple questions I want to ask you guys. We're gonna
Okay,
keep
go
talking. We're
ahead.
gonna keep talking.
No, go
One of
ahead.
my questions, one of my questions is, and I got random, so I'm gonna be random, okay? So, what are some issues? No. I think I need to do this one first. Why the need for healing? Why do we need to heal? Why do somebody need to heal?
because
Why can't just person just good?
because you will continue to choose people in your life based on where you are in your healing. So you cannot attract other healed people if you refuse to heal, but you can attract just where you are. Remember that saying, you are who you attract? Y'all thought they just said that. Let me just say it again. You are who you attract. The law of attraction. You cannot attract what you are not. Do you hear what I'm saying? You can't even manifest a better life if you can't think differently, because in order to manifest differently, you will have to heal and be able to believe that you deserve that. Y'all don't get it. You will
Wow.
attract you will attract in your life exactly where you are. Okay, so you want to attract a good, you want a very provider man, but you're a woman who checks her bank account every time she get paid, trying to see if you're gonna be broke. Wait, hold on, because you don't get it yet. You want to attract a man that's a provider. Providers don't worry about the money. They just know the money gonna come. Do you hear what I'm saying? They know the money gonna come and the bill's gonna be paid. A person who is not used to that who is in poverty, stuck in a poverty mind, is only thinking about what is going out. Okay, so therefore they can attract that. But guess who else? What they can attract is somebody else who got the same financial issues. Broke attract broke, right? Broke attract broke. When have you ever seen, the only time you have seen somebody who is wealthy go down and pick somebody out that is not wealthy is because that person who was not wealthy had access to them. A maid, right? You've seen the rich guys cheat on their wife with the maids, right? The maids have access. But Shanika from the hood, bro, Shanika don't got access to him, right? So that's why Shanika can't get with him. The maid can. What I'm telling you is this: Shanika gonna attract where she at, and the maid gonna go. The maid may be able to attract the man, but guess what? He not gonna stay long because he gonna see she too broken. If he's not a broken man, he's not going to stay in a situation that's going to tear him down. Why would he continue to bleed on himself because she's doing? He's not going to do that. It's fun in the beginning, but it becomes very tiring. So if you don't heal, you're going to continue to bleed on other people, and it's not fair. There is a movie on Tubi right now called Hurt People, and I want y'all to go do it because I'm gonna make another video. I'm not gonna tell y'all about the video. I mean about the movie. But if you go see what I mean when I say hurt people, you're gonna see exactly why healing is important. Because you will bleed on somebody else, and it can be something so detrimental that it could be life or death for that person, and you don't even realize it. Okay, so that's why we got to heal, because you have got to stop thinking that just because you suffer that I have to understand. I don't have to care, and neither does the next person. That's why you need to heal.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for that. I hope y'all caught that. And that movie you're talking about, Hurt People, Hurt People, I done seen it. Y'all go watch it. I'm trying to tell you.
You
I'm trying
saw
to tell
it, so
you.
you
And
know
I'm
what I'm
pretty
talking
sure
about.
I do. I sure do. I know. And as y'all watch it, and as we continue to talk, we talking, I can guarantee you some of the stuff that Coach Chyna is saying is going to correct to your mind.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Y'all go watch it. It's called Hurt People, Hurt People.
Hurt people, hurt
Thank you for
people.
that. Thank you for that. Now, another one is, why are some issues that women block? What are some issues that women block out by going from man to man?
Wow. Okay. A lot of issues that women block out is they're not getting their needs met. You can't get your needs met going from man to man because you haven't even identified what your needs are, right? So you block out that. You don't realize unmet need is a trauma too, because you will feel depleted in a relationship. If you have needs that are not being met while you're with somebody, you're gonna feel like that person don't care. And what is that gonna do? Have you questioning yourself? Now you beating yourself up for something else. So unmet needs is something that women ignore because they're so busy trying to keep the man's needs met to keep him around, right? Y'all are going hard to keep the man and make sure his needs are met, but you're neglecting your own needs. And what does that do? It makes you feel bitter. It makes you feel resentful. It makes you start questioning yourself, disliking yourself, talking to yourself any kind of way. Now you don't look the part. Now you don't feel the part. So you don't go in life with that. So that's the main, one of the things that y'all definitely ignore is the unmet needs. Another thing that y'all ignore is the fact that some of these men ain't even took you nowhere yet. They ain't took you on a date. You missed it because you're so in your trauma, and it reminds you of whatever you keep not healing, that this person ain't even did no initial investment in you, no dates and nothing. But guess what? You ended up in the bed with them.
You there?
What
You
did,
there? Yes,
what are
ma'am.
you reward? What are you rewarding if you ended up in the bed with them and they have not done nothing and you missed that? What are you rewarding? Because now you just giving up sex and it's based off emotion, but you don't even know if he feels the same. You see what I'm saying? Now you're blocking that. So so your needs, your needs are not being met. Okay, you got that for one. Now we move on, and now you over here in this relationship, and now you just like, what am I doing here? But you can't get out. You already stuck. So on top of that, another thing that women ignore is they start walking away from their friendships. Okay, you know, some women who get in a relationship, they start putting all that stuff in their men and to the man, and they do it extremely early. And after a while, they've been turn their back or stop talking to a lot of different people. Well, that's trauma because you need your village. So when this man start acting up and all this stuff, and we go back and you don't got nobody to be there, guess what? Trauma, because you got to hold all that stuff in. So that's another trauma that women ignore. Okay. Other traumas is just basically every time they get with it from man to man, and this man is hurting them, they're still missing the fact that they're covering up something that happened to them a long time ago. So they keep missing that. Why do you go? Why aren't you able to just not go to another man? Let me just give you another example. I know the girl right now. She keeps having the same thing happen over and over and over. And what is that? The same baby daddy, baby mama issue. Same baby daddy, baby mama traumas, right? She keep getting with baby daddies, and she keep having to go through with baby mamas. Baby mamas trying to put cases, baby mama, all this trauma. But every man she goes to, I kid you not, it's the same thing. So what is happening that she hasn't realized? Ding, ding, ding. I can tell her, but I'm not telling nobody who don't ask me. The issue is she has a relationship with her. She has a problem with her daddy. Her relationship with her father is so jagged that she doesn't realize that it's playing out with these men. Her father is still having kids. Okay? He's still a baby daddy in the streets. So the problems that she having with her dad is going over into the relationship that she had with these people. Okay? So that's why she's duplicating it. The issues with her dad are now being duplicated with these guys from man to man to man to man. It doesn't change. You know why? Because she has not resolved that issue with her father. She also has mother issues. Okay? So with the mother issues, there was no nurturing. There was no nurturing. So guess what? She's pouring into the men and taking from her. She needs to shadow work because that her inner child. Let her choose the same man. You're right, Chef. I got somebody over here. You're right, Unique. That same man is repeating himself with a different name, different face, different address, different look, but he coming back the same way. And for some reason, she does not sit down and go back to the initial pain. What is that? With the father. You have to heal that with the father because it'll keep repeating in your life with every man. Okay? So this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. These are some of the things that you ignore. Just because you got a man that's tuned in with you and locked in with you does not mean that you don't have issues to heal. You still need to go heal those issues. But you got to be honest with yourself too. Because if you're not ready to be honest, then you're not going to heal.
And I want to piggyback on what you said about a lot of us do it also because our needs are not being met. Yes. Ladies, let me say this, and you let me know if you agree, my love. Mm-hmm. You gotta know what your needs are. Okay? You gotta know what your needs. There it is right there. That's gonna change. That'll help you right there. I know about that too. I got them already. Yeah. You gotta know what your needs are. Never date just one sis. You gotta know what your needs are. Now, if you're the type that know what your needs are, you need to stand on it.
Yes.
Stand on it. Don't break it for nothing. And then you also got to be brave enough.
No, I'm gonna say you need to do a needs assessment. That's what we gotta never date just one. I'm gonna sit down and help you identify your needs because you have a need. You have a need for conversation. You have a need for hugs. You have a need for kisses. You have a need for somebody to text you in the middle of the night. You have different needs, yet because you not have identified them, you don't know how to verbalize them to the man. And guess what? If he don't know your needs, he cannot meet them. So guess what? Now you will feel like like your needs have been ignored because you know what he needs. He just won't. He needs sex. He needs food. He needs you to shut the F up while he's playing the game. You make sure all his needs are met. But when it comes to your needs, you haven't even told him told him your needs because you're so scared you're gonna run away. Tell him, baby, I need you to answer every time I called you. I need you to answer every phone call. I need you to answer every text because it makes me feel secure. You need security. See, you need, I just told you, you need security. So you need him to answer every text and answer every call. He does not know that if you don't tell him. Baby, I would like for you to, I need you to start planning more dates for us because I want to feel important. You have a need for dates. He doesn't take you on dates because you don't tell him you want to go. He doesn't read minds, babe. So if you don't tell him your needs and you don't know your needs, then they're going to continue to go unmet. You're going to continue to feel unfilled.
So it is. That's part of being afraid to tell it because you said he gonna run off. What's wrong being by yourself, ladies? Laughing.
Because you won't. Because if you can't do it for 2 weeks, what? If you can't be by yourself for 2 weeks, then I definitely know that you ain't gonna leave him just because you're not feeling your needs. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
You're right. My next question is, why does a woman choose abstinence and then call it celibacy after so many upsets?
I talk about this. I talk about that all the time, and I be wanting people to understand that this is really what we need to. First of all, we need to address celibacy versus abstinence. People don't understand what celibacy is. Celibacy is something that you literally stand firm on. You're not having sex. And it's for reasons. It could be religion. It could be something else. That is a very strong mindset, okay? When you say you're celibate. Versus you being abstinent. You just not having sex right now because what you want in a man you haven't found, so you're not giving up no sex. A lot of women confuse celibacy with abstinence. You all are having sex, so you're not celibate. Let me say that. You're just abstinent because you're not having sex right now. You are not celibate if you had sex, but you are abstinent if you're not having sex right now. So get the terminology correct. Now, the reason why women choose to go the abstinent route, even for extended periods of time, is because they refuse to heal what happened in that relationship. You felt so hurt by the last person that you was with sexually that now you figure like, okay, I ain't finna have sex with nobody. You think sex is the problem. Sex is not the problem, ma'am. Now you may have introduced it in too early and it became an addiction for him, but it's not the problem. The problem could have been you ain't have no standards and no boundaries. That could be the problem. The problem is that you have not healed those mommy and daddy issues, abandonment issues, attachment issues. That could be the problem. But you think because sex was involved and you got hurt, I'm gonna take sex out and I'm just not gonna do it. I'm gonna be fine. And guess what? You still hurt. You still got trauma you haven't healed. Whatever that man did to you, you still sitting on because I guarantee you still talking about it. That's how you know you're not healed. You know you're not healed when you still you got to tell everybody what happened. You still want to tell your side of the story. You're not healed. So you'll be abstinent and you'll play like you're celibate. And then you can't wait to tell the world, I've been celibate for 5 years and you've been abstinent. And the reason is because you haven't healed. Forgive yourself, sis. You couldn't do better if you didn't know better. Okay? So you chose this. He wasn't the right partner. That's fine. Okay? What do you want? Do you know what you want? Do you know what you need? Because if you never know that, then you're going to continue to be abstinent because you still don't know what you need. I know what I need. I will never tell you that I'm abstinent. I will tell you that I am. I will never tell you I'm abstinent. I will tell you that I'm, it's on the tip of my tongue. I am demisexual. And what that means is I will not get sexual unless I have an emotional connection with you. See? I don't say I'm abstinent. I don't say I'm abstinent because I will be lying to you because I might go jump on something tomorrow. I don't want to lie to you like that. But I will tell you that I'm demisexual. What that means is I cannot be sexually attracted to you unless there is an emotional connection. That's what demisexual is. You have a strong emotional connection because sometimes that's what women want. They want to have an emotional connection with the man before they give into the sexual. Okay. So when you say you abstinent, that's just saying you're not having sex, but you're not telling us why. Why are you abstinent? Because I would like to have an emotional connection with him before I give him my body. So then just say you're demisexual, and right now you're not having sex until you can get that emotional connection. It's simple.
Wow. And some of us are so afraid to even go there, right? Let the person know, no, I'm not doing this because I don't feel that you have the same thing, you feel the same way about me. I don't feel this emotional connection right now. And some of us are so scared to even say that. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go right on and get in the cookies. And all this problem going on, everything is starting happening now. Now you see you're regretting it. Why did I do this? I should have listened to my inner self. I shouldn't have did this right now. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, that's it. Too late now. So what you just done for him, you just showed him how easy to get in your ear and make you feel some kind of way. And then it's like, hey, let's get this going on and popping. You gotta be stronger than this, my ladies. You gotta be stronger than this. And y'all know nothing wrong with being, but let me tell y'all something. Real transparent moment. These transparent moment. When me and my kids finally separated, I was by myself for 4 years. No man, no nothing. What I chose to do, I chose to reconnect back with my kids. Okay. That's what I chose to do. I chose to reconnect. In other words, start spending a hell of a lot more time. Hell of a lot more time with them. We started going a whole lot more places. The reason why I said that is because this. When you get a relationship and you got kids, right? Yeah, 9 out of 10, you're going to see yourself every now and then going a lot of places with them, and the kids not coming all the time. Okay? The kids not coming all the time. You're going to see yourself, now can't nobody tell that lie, say never did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. But see, that's what happens. That's what happens. You get in that relationship and all that. But now y'all gonna go to the beach this time with us. We're going by ourselves. You see what I'm saying? But when that situation happened, I chose. I made that promise to myself. I'm gonna deal with me and my kids for right now, and I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad I had that 4 years. I reconnected with my 3 children, and I would do it again if I had to. I would do it again. But I
Because you
it's
realize
time for
that
me.
because you realized that you wasn't nurturing them how you should have been nurturing them as a mom, and so you went back and you said, you know what, let me go back. And but see, do you see how you was able to see how you missed that when you was with that man? So imagine other women missing stuff when they with these men because they distracted. And when they not with the men no more, they, oh, okay, let me go do this. And people always say, well, how come you boss up after the man? Because the man was distracting you. You was sending, you was distracted. And so when you had, when it was over, you had time to clear your mind and say, okay, I got these goals. I got to do all this and all that stuff, whatever the case is, but you're still going to it and you may not be healed. So you may not be giving your best effort. Healing is very important. And I told y'all it only includes having new standards and new boundaries. You have to set them. Because if you don't, you're going to keep allowing the same stuff in and it's going to continue to do the same stuff if you can't recognize a pattern. I had to recognize my patterns. I had to see, okay, Chyna, what's going on? I had to do that. And does it make you feel good? No. Because you be like, why the hell I did that? Why I was with him? Why you gonna do that? But if you questioning yourself, then that's a good thing. And this means you ready. That means you're ready to heal. So that means you gotta set a standard so that you don't go back that way. Okay. So one of the standards I set, when I came out of my marriage, because my husband literally, ex-husband literally dated me for like 6 months to a year, like every day. My ex-husband, when we first got together, he literally dated me. So that's a requirement for me, you know what I'm saying? Because that lets you know. And when I say date, I'm not talking about take me out and spend money every day, because that's not always dates. I don't care what y'all favorite people tell y'all on here. Every date does not have to have a cost to it. It can literally be a walk somewhere, somebody coming to see you, whatever. So that man came and made his presence known every day for the first year, so that I could better learn who I was with and see this man and all his versions right. And I appreciate that, because now I have a need for dates. You know what I'm saying? I want to go have dates. You will realize that after I left out of that marriage with him, and I did move on into a situation, I caught myself with somebody who didn't even take me on a date. And when I realized, I say, what am I doing? This man ain't even took me nowhere, but I already gave my body up. You see what I'm saying? You have to be able to be honest and recognize your patterns, sis. That's the only way you're going to heal. So now you got to set a standard. You got to have a new boundary. You see what I'm saying? It hurts. But if it hurts, that means that you got to recognize it. So how are we going to heal it? What are we going to do differently? You got to set a standard so it don't happen again. This is why healing is so important. It doesn't take 8 and 9 years. What you do need to do is be able to talk it out. Talk therapy is very important. That's what you got counselors for, and that's what you got coaches like me and Miss Coach J. Talk therapy is very important. So you may not be healing, but just to talk about it makes you feel better, because you get to get it out, especially if you don't got nobody that's willing to listen to you.
And a no judgment, safe space, all of that. So nobody, you talk with a coach, no judgment, say what you gonna be between you and them 4 walls, or you and the Zoom, just y'all. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's why I love me in my studio. When I have them conversations like that, I'm out here. I'm in my studio outside. I'm not in my house. You see what I'm saying? This is very private right here. Now, if you're on them Zooms, I'm with you. You feel what I'm saying? But we gotta make sure that we ready to do that. Because I'm telling y'all, when you step your foot in that water, and if you ain't ready, it's in you. But see, you gotta get on that. You gotta get deep up in there. I'm telling y'all, yeah. I went through it. I don't figure out why I was crying. My eyes were wet every time I see yellow. But I went and found out. I went and found out. And I'm still
and that's important. And one of the final steps, one of the beginning steps, but then you have to do it again at the end. The beginning step in healing is apologizing to yourself. The last step is forgiving yourself. When you can honestly forgive yourself, then you have completely healed. And that's you in the beginning, again, when you recognize the pain on day 1 of 31 days, when you recognize the issue, on that day, it's going to say, now apologize to yourself. I tell you to apologize, go to the mirror and apologize to yourself. But I say, do not forgive yourself right now. You are not ready. You are not ready to forgive yourself, because we got to work through this. I got to rebuild you. You cannot forgive what you did not rebuild. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not, but you can apologize. So the first step is to apologize. The last step is to forgive yourself. And that forgiveness, and you should know, self-love is through the roof now, because you knew you couldn't do better. You didn't know better. You couldn't do better, right? But you know better now. So you're not going back. You're not going to go backwards. You're going to move forward, and you got standards and you got boundaries. And as long as you got those, you got your limitations. So now, even though my homegirl called me and she going through issues with her man, I've already listened to her one time. I listened to it the first time. My boundary is set. Don't call me again about this same man, because you like it over there, and you're going to be bringing that mess into my life if I keep listening to it. Anything you focus on more than 3 minutes will become your reality. So I'm not listening to somebody's trauma life and bringing it into my life, because I'm trying to help you solve your life. Keep your life over there, okay? Unless I'm being paid, and I ain't being paid. So with that being said, my friends know you got one time to call me about that man, just one. I'm gonna listen to you because I'm your friend. But at the end of this call, if you told me that you was gonna do something and you don't do it, but the next call we back here, girl, I told you don't call me no more. I just did this. And she was like, but no, I told you from that last phone call when you told me what he did, that I talked to you through it. You told me what you was gonna do. You broke up with him for a couple of weeks. Then you got back with him. I don't want to hear it again. Don't bring it to me. And I don't care if you think I'm a bad friend, but I have boundaries. I'm not gonna allow you to compound your mess on top of my life, especially if I'm not living in that mess with you. So I'm not gonna hear it. That's for the friends, and that's for family. That's for anybody. If it don't serve me no purpose, do not bring it to me, especially excessively, making me trying to solve your problem. It's gonna put it in my life, and I'm not doing that.
And you know what? You are so right. When you're listening to someone, your friends, and they're talking to you about, I'm so tired of this, but they've been with the person for 8, 9, 10 years. I'm so tired of so. You were so right. You will, if you listen more than 3 minutes, you will bring it into yourself, because you know what I'm saying why I said that. Because I have done that, right? Family member or so a friend of mine, and every time I get the phone, I am messed up for about an hour or two, because I'm worried about thinking about what they done said to me. I'm about them, Lord, I wonder, I hope they don't get to fighting tonight. You see what I'm saying? You are so right about that. You bring it right in there.
No,
you bring it right in.
You gotta have boundaries. Yeah, you gotta have boundaries, because people will bring you their stuff. They will keep bringing it to you, and they don't care what you're going through. No, you gotta have a boundary. I can hear it one time, but that's my limit. After that, you gotta find your resolution. Because if you don't find your resolution, now you just over here just putting stuff on me. I'm not gonna allow you to do that, because I got my own stuff going on. So heal. Go in your corner. So
don't be afraid to say
no, don't be afraid.
Saying no about this. Don't call me no more about this until when you call me when you done found your hotel room and you done left. Other than that, don't call me no. Don't call me no more.
In the table of contents for 31 days, I want to read some of the activity chapter headings. Day 1, recognizing the trauma to apologize. First day, remember I told her that's what's going on. Day 2, turning weaknesses into strengths, because you've never done that before. You know you can point out all your negatives, but you can't tell them how you can turn those negatives into a positive. Okay. Day 3, now we're gonna identify what your strengths are. First, I identified your weaknesses, right? Your weakness. I'll turn it into a strength. Now I'm gonna identify your strengths. And this is how we go back from day 1 to day 31 of building you up to get to that point where you can finally forgive yourself and move into a different space now. That is what 31 days does. That is what we'll do from July 1st to July 31st. And it is going to be heavy on a lot of you, because a lot of y'all don't want to heal. A lot of y'all like to be the victim, because guess what? It gets you attention. It gets you sympathy. You tell somebody that you was in a relationship where he verbally abused you, and guess what? Somebody else say, oh no, I'm so sorry. And then they start treating you soft. But that's a facade. You don't need that. But that's what'll happen. And some people get addicted to that. Oh my God, I told her that I lost my baby, and they just keep giving me all these gifts. You see what I'm saying? Some people get addicted to them sitting in their pain. So they never heal because they like the way people treat them in that. No, you got to come out of it. You got to be able to heal, because what it is still, at the end of the day, is still false. It's still fake. It's not real. You know why? Because what you're doing is not real. So if you take away that, the people won't treat you the same, and guess what? You still gonna feel bad about it. That's why you gotta heal. That's why you gotta heal and stop talking about it. It was the wrong word, but is healing ongoing? Yes, healing is gonna be for the rest of your life. You're gonna encounter trauma every day. You go out the door right now, somebody hit your car, you bad, that's trauma. Heal. You go out the door and you walking into the grocery store, somebody push you down and you fall, trauma. Heal. You're gonna be encountering trauma for the rest of your life. Trauma is not associated with just big stuff. Trauma comes from anything that makes you upset. That is a trauma. You will heal for the rest of your life. You just know how to deal with it, okay? Somebody in road rage, get out there, run you off the road, flick you off. That might ruin your day. You gotta heal from it. You see what I'm saying? You gotta heal from it, because guess what you're gonna do after that? You're gonna leave out that car and go tell somebody, girl, somebody done flick me off. That's how you know it bothered you. Because if it didn't bother you, you would not talk about it to nobody. Nobody would never know it happened. The only time you hear about something happen to somebody when they bothered by it. That's how you gotta go heal about it. So yes, healing is ongoing. It's gonna be for the rest of your life. You're gonna always have to heal. It doesn't mean it's gonna be severe, but the moment you know it was an upset, you're gonna have to sit down and figure that out. Okay, what could I have done differently? That's healing. See? What could I got arrested last night for drinking and driving. What could I have done differently? Not drink and drive. Maybe just drink, but not drive. There you go. You just solved your own problem. You healed it. See? I ain't even have to help you do that. Healing is an ongoing thing, okay? It is going to make you have to think differently from what you have been thinking from, okay? You're going to have to get there. And if you never get there, you're going to keep getting the same results. Then that right there, my friend, is insane. Okay, if you know what the word insanity means doing the same thing, expecting different results. That means you are insane. So if you refuse to heal and you keep doing the same things, you are now insane, because you keep thinking that you're going to get different results and you ain't did nothing different yet. Healing is different. You will think different. You will see different. You will speak different. You will not allow the same energy around you anymore. You won't get bothered by some things anymore, like road rage. Like it used to get me. Like I used to be like Adam on the road, but now I see them. They just be getting. I just be laughing at it because they be so mad. I just be like, oh my God, their day is ruined, but my day is not. Okay, so this is why healing is ongoing, and every day you're gonna come into contact with micro traumas. You better know how to bring yourself back to ground zero, because if you go to 100, that can mean a lot of different things. Jail. Death, somebody hurt, you hurt. This is what happens if you go to 100 from 0 that quick. That's why you got to heal. 0 is your ground level. That's what healing has. You know what it is. But if you don't never know how to get there, then you want to onward spiral up.
Not down. You don't want to spiral down. You want to spiral up. Exactly. I hope y'all catching this. I hope y'all catching this. And my last question is, how can anyone book a one-on-one session to divulge deeper into their trauma with you? How can someone do that?
First of all, you got to be ready. Because I'm going to tell you this, when you come over here to me, I'm not going to play with you. I don't know how no other people do, but I don't have time to sugarcoat with you, because when I had to go on my healing, I can remember my 2 counselors. They did not play with me. They were women. And one thing they was not going to do was let me sit there and be like, yeah, right. Like, get it together. That's literally what, if they could say anything else to me, it was like, get it together. So when you come this way, for one, you better be ready to get it together. You can always send me an email, and we can go from there. My email is coachchyna@icloud.com. Coach Chyna T. And if you click on my profile, you'll be able to go get all of my stuff. But you can email me. My email should be on my profile, but you can email me for us to set up a one-on-one session. I haven't put any booking links online yet. Only because I had moved out of that space in terms of the booking link, because I don't have my whole website anymore, and that's where everything was on my website. I don't have that website. I lost my domain. I'm foolishly let my domain go. I don't know why I did that. But anyways, you will be able to get a one-on-one. Just email me and we can talk about it. But you have to be ready. If you're not going to be ready, I don't want you to play with this, because some people start their healing process and they really not ready for it, and they just tap out. And because they don't really want to, they don't like the way it feels. They don't like the pain. They don't like to have to recall the things that hurt them. So they won't sit and they won't properly do it. And I want you to know that every time you fail to heal, you discount yourself further. Every time you fail to heal, you're going to discount yourself further. What that means is you keep lowering your value. That's what I mean. Because every time you fail to heal, yeah, you're going to take whatever compounded on you to the next person. You keep lowering your value. And you want to be a valuable person. Okay? So be valuable and be healed with it.
That makes a lot of sense. And a lot of us, you're right, I got to piggyback on that real quick. A lot of us are not ready. And I do the same thing, because I'm an intimacy coach and wellness coach as well. I let people know, don't come on this Zoom line. You got to come correct. The question I'm going to ask, you got to be honest. You got to, before we even get started, I lay it on out there too. That's what you have to do, because you can't get nowhere lying. You can't. You can't get nowhere trying to everything is sort of okay, but not okay. Well, I know how it feels to feel uncomfortable. And that's what happens when us ladies, we see that we're talking to a person. Oh Lord, that person there is getting uncomfortable now. Now we're screaming all in the chair, let me feel uncomfortable. Because what it is get to the surface a little bit more. Get to the surface more.
Yeah.
Doing it, ladies. You got to get on down in there. Get on down, have that cry. Get on down up in there when you get to crying so much and snot me all in your nose. You in there now.
Yeah.
You in there now. You know what I'm saying? When you really cry and you cry so much, you all just running. You in there now. I've been there. I'm not taking my game. It wasn't. That's when I knew my soul was being cleaned out. Because I had it going, man. I did.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. When I finished and I got myself cleaned up and I wiped my face and all that off in during that session, good God Almighty, it felt like 5,000 elevators was off my body.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. When you let go of that stuff, it does. Like when I let go of a lot of stuff, it just felt lighter. Like I don't curse people out anymore. Like I'm not doing the stuff that I used to do before when I wasn't healed. Like I'm a completely different person. Because I realized how much of my life it took from me. I was an unpleasant person. I was very unpleasant. But now, oh my God, y'all, I'm so in love. Listen, everywhere I go, people can't wait to talk to me. It's like they just got this energy coming off me, and I just love it because I just be like. So I'm just telling you, when you're not healed, you don't even realize how much the world loves you and how much the world needs you because you're so busy under a rug and you keep trying to hide some stuff. So this is why I'm a healer encourager, but I don't think healing should take more than a month though. Like, cause it's literally standards and boundaries. And if you recognize yourself, if you're just not willing to heal because again, you like the victim stance, then I'm not for you because I don't like victims. I like survivors. I like victors. I don't like victims. So I want to take you out of the victim mindset and get you healed so that you can be a survivor. But maybe you're not ready, and that's okay. Because I literally just have to wait till you get ready. Hopefully it's not too late because a lot of y'all do wait till it's too late. But on the flip side, I want everybody to heal, and that's why I need y'all to tune in. First of all, go get y'all a copy of the link on my page. From July 1st to July 31st, 31 days to eternal satisfaction. You will find a video every day on YouTube talking about today's activity and delving into that and then every day ends with a journal entry. Okay. There is a journal prompt at the end of every activity. Okay. So for instance, for day one, I told y'all you got to identify the trauma. The journal prompt for day one says, when you identify the trauma, recall how it affected you. Because now I need you to sit into that. Okay. And then it says, have you apologized to yourself? Because now you got to be honest to that and write it here. You're going to write how it affected you. And then you're going to write your apology there. Okay. At the end of every activity, there is a journal prompt. So we're going to talk about what it is. And then there's the activity. And then there's a journal prompt. Okay. It's a full 31 days. Exactly what you need to get you where you should be so that you can continue to navigate the rest of your life. Anytime that you sustain any trauma, pull back out the same book and go through the same process. It'll be redundant over and over and over again. You know why? Because when you begin to start making healing a habit, I guarantee what you're going to do prior to that is you're going to make your peace more of a habit.
Most definitely, because I sure did.
Yeah. You're going to say, you know what? I'm not even going to keep doing this. This seems like it's going to bother me. And you're going to choose peace. You're not even going to go that way because your discernment's going to be so high. Your intuition going to be so high. Your third eye going to be so tuned in. And the moment it looked like danger, your body's going to tell you, sis, I don't think we need to do this. Go the other way. What's going on? And you're going to be like, yeah, let me just listen to that because I'm not going to deal with this.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on, my love. And I hope y'all, the ones that's listening, that tune in, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Y'all share it out. I told y'all she was bringing the truth. And if you did not see our very first fire episode, it's on YouTube, Miss J's Unfiltered Talk Show and Podcast. Please go watch that one. Like I said, this is part 2. The main thing that I wanted to do is this evening for my ladies that was tuning in, that was coming in and out, and some on the stage, is to understand how important you are. Number one, how important you are, all right, and how important it is for you to start your healing journey, so you can be a better person.
Yep.
Around everything. So you'll be surprised why you find your man all the time.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised. What about tonight? You got you snapping. It's a reason for that. It's a reason for that. And it's time to shut it off, my queen. It's time to shut it off. It's time to do that. Grab Chyna's book. Tap on her picture on her platform. Go get this book so you can start. So you can be ready. You start this journey, July the 1st to the 31st. You got to get this book, so you better follow along with her. Okay? You got to get this book. You got to get this book. And while you're at it, go ahead on and get that Play Your Position Sis and Never Date Just One Sis. I'm telling y'all, I got them right there. Oh my Jesus. I got so many, y'all highlights up in them books. Oh my God. You're dating wrong, my love. Okay?
And Miss J, I'm gonna send you the ebook copy of 31 Days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can have the ebook. Yeah, you'll have the ebook copy of it, so you'll be able to delve into it and see exactly what it is. I'm gonna send you the ebook copy of this right here. Wait. Oh, and you know what? I got you one better. I got a copy in the garage. I'm gonna send you the book. I got a copy.
All right, my love. Well, thank you so much for being in here. Thank you to those that came out. Now, maybe within another couple of weeks, I dare to go live on my talk show platform here on TikTok. You know, you got to have 1,000 followers. I don't have 1,000 followers yet. I think I'm at 962.
Okay.
What I'm saying? That's why I'm here on Coach Angela J.
Okay.
But we'll get to it, but until then, we will be having some more lives up here, some more talk show episodes up here. Y'all come on in. Y'all see the flyers and everything. Y'all come on. And again, my queen, thank you so much for coming up here again.
Thank you for having me, Miss J.
So welcome, my love. I know it's Friday. Those that came in on y'all Friday evening, thank y'all so much. Y'all could have been somewhere else. But I'm getting ready to close it out. Y'all have a good weekend. Be with your family. Have a safe Father's Day weekend. Have a good time. Enjoy. Thank you, my love.
Thank you, Coach Angela. I'll talk to you later.